For decades, brown rice has been hailed as this undeniable champion in the health food world. It's the grain you reach for when you're trying to eat clean, watch your weight, or just, make a better choice. But is the story really that simple?
What if I told you that the very part of brown rice that makes it so healthy is also hiding a potential risk? Today, we are going to peel back the layers on this pantry staple and get the whole, unvarnished story.
All right, so first things first, let's talk about why brown rice has this golden reputation to begin with. It all comes down to the fact that it's a whole grain. Unlike white rice, it keeps all its parts, the super nutritious bran, the germ, and the endosperm. And when you actually look at the numbers, the difference is it's huge. That milling process that turns brown rice into white, it literally strips away all the good stuff. Just look at the fiber. We're talking almost 7 times more in brown rice. And it's not just fiber, we're talking about a powerhouse of minerals like manganese, magnesium, and selenium that are basically gone from white rice. And this isn't just numbers on a chart, this has real-world impact. There was a huge study that found that just by swapping about 1/3 of a serving of white rice with brown rice every day, people had a 16% lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes. That is a seriously powerful change. And the list just keeps going. That high fiber content, it's tied to a way lower risk of heart disease, and it helps with weight control because it makes you feel full. It even feeds the good bacteria in your gut. Plus, it's packed with antioxidants. So case closed, right? Brown rice is the winner, no contest. Well, not so fast. You see, that same bran layer, the part with all those amazing nutrients, is also holding a couple of secrets that make this whole story a lot more complicated. And the first secret is arsenic. Yeah. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency calls inorganic arsenic a Group 1 carcinogen. That means it's a known cancer causer in humans. And it just so happens to have a really unique relationship with rice. Now hold on, this isn't something that's added to the rice. Arsenic is just naturally in the soil and water. But the way rice is grown in those flooded paddies makes it about 10 times better at sucking up arsenic than other grains. And where does it store all that arsenic? You guessed it, right in that outer bran layer. And this chart just lays the paradox out perfectly. This is FDA data showing average levels, so white rice, because the bran is gone, has about 92 parts per billion. But brown rice? It's way up at 154 parts per billion. That's almost 70% higher. Oof! And scientists are really clear on this. This isn't up for debate. It's a settled fact that brown rice has more arsenic. But that's not the only thing that bran layer is hiding. So the second issue is something called an anti-nutrient. And in this case, we're talking about something called phytic acid. Okay, so what in the world is phytic acid? Well, it's this natural compound that's also packed into the rice bran. And the big problem for us is that it acts kind of like a mineral magnet. When you eat it, it goes into your gut and latches onto essential minerals. Think zinc, iron, calcium, and it holds on so tight that your body can't absorb them. So here's the crazy irony of the whole situation. You're eating the brown rice specifically because it has more minerals, but an ingredient in that exact same rice is actively working to stop you from actually getting those minerals. How frustrating is that? So, I know exactly what you're thinking right now. If brown rice has more arsenic and it has this thing that blocks minerals, is white rice actually the better choice? Well, the answer is a little more interesting than just a simple yes or no.
It turns out how you prepare your rice is just as important, maybe even more important than which type you choose. You can actually take back control and slash both of these risks right in your own kitchen.
All right, to get rid of the arsenic, there's a super simple method backed by science. All you have to do is boil your rice for 5 minutes in plenty of water, then drain that water completely. By throwing that water out, you get rid of over half the arsenic before you even really start cooking. It's that easy. And what about that phytic acid? Well, the solution here is just a little bit of patience. Soaking. You just soak your brown rice in warm water for about 24 hours, and here's the pro tip. Save a little of that soaking water for your next batch. It acts like a starter and gets better over time. This can knock out up to 96% of the phytic acid, unlocking all those minerals. But look, smart cooking techniques are great, but they're only one piece of the puzzle. The single best, most powerful strategy for your health doesn't come down to just one food at all. Honestly, the smartest thing any of us can do is just mix it up. Eat a wide variety of foods. Don't make brown rice your only grain. Rotate it with things like quinoa or millet or amaranth. When you do that, you get a wider range of nutrients and you stop any one compound, like arsenic, from building up.
So here it is, the final balance sheet. The good things about brown rice, totally real, backed by science. But the risks, they're real too. The most important thing to remember, though, is that those risks are totally manageable once you know what to do.
So what's the bottom line here? It's that healthy isn't just a label you slap on a food. It's about the whole process. How you cook your food matters. And above all, variety really is your health superpower. Being informed is always better than just following a simple rule.
The goal was never to blindly follow a rule like always eat brown rice. It's about understanding the full picture, the pros and the cons, so you can make the smartest, most informed choice for you. So, what are you going to put on your plate?